The European Union is thinking of ways to regulate the emergence of robots and robots that might have artificial intelligence. Now, this is kind of like a preemptive strike on some of the downsides of such technological advancements. And I think it's interesting because they've thought about everything from making sure that there is insurance in place if these robots cause any damage, to having certain kill switches in place in case these robots turn against us. This is kind of amazing, so let me give you the details. So the European Parliament has urged the drafting of a set of regulations to govern the use and creation of robots and artificial intelligence, including a form of electronic personhood to ensure rights and responsibilities for the most capable AI. All right, so that last part seems kind of weird, but what it's really about has to do with taxes. Because think about how a lot of European countries work. They have a robust social security system in place, and in order to fund and allow that type of system to thrive, you need to make sure that employees pay taxes. Well, if you are employing robots to do the jobs that humans used to do, well, then these programs are not going to have the funds necessary to move forward. And so they're trying to think of ways to see if it makes sense for employers to pay a certain tax that would cover those losses. So let me give you more details. One person writes, what we need now is to create a legal framework for the robots that are currently on the market or will become available over the next 10 to 15 years. The creation of a European agency for robotics and artificial intelligence is one of the things that has been proposed. Here are more things that have been proposed. An advisory code of conduct for robot engineers aimed at guiding the ethical design, production, and use of robots. Finally, a new reporting structure for companies requiring them to report the contribution of robotics and artificial intelligence to the economic results of a company for the purpose of taxation and Social Security contributions. There's more, but those are the ones that really stood out.
So employers who eliminate their entire workforce and replace them with robots would have to pay some of the benefits that their employees would have paid had they kept employee. Well, okay, great. So you just make a little less money. Great. I mean, good. I guess they're being proactive. I happen to know a lot about this because I saw all 10 episodes of Westworld. Exactly. And this can go very, very wrong. I just think they should be aware of that.
Well, I think their approach is so much better than the approach in the United States because here, we just kind of allow the technology to advance without thinking about some of the downsides or the ramifications, and then we're like, oh yeah, maybe we should regulate that, right? Kind of like with the internet and, things like the government spying in on us using emails or even, phone calls and things like that. The laws that we already had weren't up to date to kind of deal with that type of spying, right? So this is kind of interesting.
I think this is really cool because you're seeing Europe take a very proactive but also cautious approach to artificial intelligence and robotics. They say 10 to 15. I'm going to be really interested in 75 years from now. Yeah. I think this policy, the policies that they're putting forward are going to look actually pretty antiquated because I think that, robots are advancing so incredibly fast. There was just the North American International Auto Show that went down, and one of the major things that people were talking about was self-driving cars. Mm-hmm. So people are thinking about sort of humanoid robots. I was thinking Westworld too, but to a lesser degree, we're already seeing robots that need to be insured, that need to have some sort of legal protection and responsibility.
Yeah.
I think it's
certainly
really
legal
important.
definition seems inconceivable to me that I could get behind that. But I guess people coming behind me will get behind it. And there are people who don't like to drive. The thought of giving up that control.
Yeah.
But that's a different story. So, but you see this, Ashley Morgan, do you have this, the international legal from Osborne Clark, says the proposals will be controversial. One could argue that effectively a law of the nature proposed in this resolution would grant human rights to robots. That's not going to go down easy with companies that are creating robots and AI. So there's going to be tremendous pushback here from the companies that are doing that, the very people who are bringing us these robots.
Yeah, this is something that I actually kind of disagreed with. One of the proposals was that if there is a humanoid robot with great artificial intelligence, it's very effective, it's been advanced, they want to make sure that these robots are not too human and it's very obvious that they are robots, so actual humans don't have an emotional attachment to them.
Impossible. They can't stop that.
They can't stop that. And I don't even, look, I think that there are a lot of people out there who could benefit, even if it is an emotional attachment to a robot. I think there's a benefit if someone's like lonely and they fall in love with the robot. Why is it our business to go and get involved?
Or,
I mean,
see,
I'm not,
by the way, watch Her, which
Well,
Yeah.
I was going to say Joaquin Phoenix
and
did it.
Her which was great. That was a disembodied voice.
yeah.
But I mean, all the propaganda that's always telling women that if you're over 30, and specifically a woman of color, you're probably not going to be married or find a mate. You can get you a robot, girl. Go get you a
Yeah,
robot.
it goes both ways.
And we're not even talking. I mean, I'm not trying to be crass here, but sex is going to be a
Amazing.
driving.
I have
I
sex
wasn't
with
gonna go with
machines
amazing.
all the time. I have sex with machines all the time. It's going to be
No,
amazing.
but you imagine just like the virtual reality
Yeah.
world is going to be driven in large part by the sex industry, that I presume this will too. I mean, and I mean, this is a great quote this woman had, this Ashley Morgan. If I create a robot, and that robot creates something that could be patented, do I own that patent or does the robot own that patent? Like, that's all incredibly
Because
interesting.
I think we're going to
interesting
get to a
questions, yeah.
point where robots are going to be making autonomous decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
We could argue that they are autonomous decisions or not, but the conversation, at least Europe is starting it and saying what's going to happen to these properties and who is responsible, who is liable. In the case of, there was that 300-pound security robot that ran over the kid in California.
Yeah.
Remember that? It
Yes.
happened over the summer. And then there was a discussion about who is responsible. Was it, obviously this is a less advanced robot than we're sort of talking about coming in the future, but was it the robot's fault? It might get to a point where you can blame a robot, because if they have enough artificial intelligence, there could be an argument made where someone's saying, well, the robot should have known better.
Yeah,
I
and-
can't wait to see how this plans out. I hope I'm alive for it all. I want to have a robot
You'll
that's
be alive for it all.
I
You're
couldn't
I
wait.
like-
want them to
You're
all
super young.
to
You'll
start
be 12.
getting
so I'm 12.
blamed for all the crimes, like they do Men of Color, and then there'll be
totally.
robot prison.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then
Well, that's why
right.
they got the kill switch. We're not even entertaining
that's
the
right.
idea of prison. We're just gonna kill
Just
them.
kill.
I love when it says you must remember that the robot does not love you. The robot doesn't love you.
It's kind of sad. Like, I don't know. It makes me sad.
If you want to see this happen, donate $3, $20, $27, whatever you can afford. You know that if everybody that's watching this video donated right now, we could stop the fundraising because we'd have enough. So go to TYTnetwork.com/go. We'll wait while you make the donation. Thank you for doing it and for building a great new journalism team. And thanks for watching.